Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants, and of course I'm your host, your YouTube messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And talking about Raw this week was in Cincinnati, Ohio, and well, it could have been better. Now, probably one of the bigger things news-wise that occurred from the time of last week into the time of this recording, big news was that Lars Frederiksen from Rancid actually has come out and openly admitted, yeah, he's backing Cody and the Bucks in AEW. And if you've known Lars, you know Lars is a huge wrestling fan, you know. And I'm not talking like weird, creepy, sits down in front of a camera type kind of wrestling fan. I mean, I can't imagine what kind of dickhead would do that. Okay, moving forward, let's forget that part. Can we take that out in post? Damn it. That's why I hate having asshole producers. But yeah, Lars is officially backing it. You know, he gave a really good, you know, he talked about it. He talked about why. He talked about what he sees going with it, as well as other things with wrestling-wise that, you know, the man, from a fan's perspective, not saying he's a smark, but he's a very intelligent fan that you could sit there and talk shop with and be like, and enjoy having a conversation with. Now, other than that, yeah, not much else really big news-wise going on. So let's move forward with the show. It starts out with the old man himself, Vince. Starts out with Mr. McMahon himself coming on down, strutting on down like only he could, and goes hyping up the show, talking about on how this is gonna make history and he's a genius and all that. And yes, obviously, let's call a duck and a spade and shit. The show has been kind of shitty for the past couple weeks, you know, and people want to go. And this is the part that cracks me up because, you know, God bless. If social media was around during the Monday Night Wars, honestly, wrestling would not be around today because, you know, if you'd have had people doing side-by-side comparisons, arguing about the ratings every day between Raw and Nitro, oh my God, you'd never hear the end of it. Listen, don't try to talk about the Nielsen ratings, please, because the fucking Nielsen people can't even explain the ratings properly. You know? I mean, not only that, it's not just viewership of watching on a live feed. They also factor in streaming, DVR recordings, freaking, you know, Twitter trends, for crying out loud. They use that shit too. So honestly, you can't just factor in, okay, how many did they say? Alright, according to Nielsen, they said only X amount of TVs watch that episode this week. Fuck that. And I'm not sitting here trying to defend that, because far from it. Like I said before, if I see shit, I call it bullshit. You know, but just from a fan perspective, none of us are qualified to make arguments in regards to what the Nielsen ratings are. So please do not attempt to try and bring that shit up. Now, that said, yes, the show has been lackluster for the past couple weeks, and so I don't think they were sweating bullet. I don't think the old man and creative were sweating bullets, but I'm pretty sure they were like, all right, well, okay, time to get our happy asses in gear and start actually putting out decent shit again. So Vince comes out, hypes up on how he's a genius. This is going to be a great night. It's monumental, and then out comes SmackDown's own Roman Reigns to talk about on how he's got unfinished business, and then Vince getting like only Vince can. What the hell are you doing here? This isn't SmackDown, this is Raw. Now I'll have you know, you even think about putting a Superman punch on me again. I got Cincinnati's finest back there, and they will arrest your ass. At least something like that. Paraphrasing, mind you. But yeah. Next thing you know, after he comes out, and then next thing you know, after Roman comes out, then AJ comes out saying, whoa, 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 you're allowing SmackDown guys here. I spent the past couple years working on SmackDown, making it the house AJ Styles built. Now you're bringing in guys here. So tell you what, how about this? How about I bring a couple friends over from SmackDown over to here to help even things out. Then out comes McIntyre to go and shut them both up and say, this is gonna stop. Ain't no one gonna start shit on my show. And then Vince, hold it! I just had a stroke of genius. Which, God, but anytime Vince is on TV, you know, and he's trying to bolster himself, I don't know about you guys, but I can't help but laugh because it just, honestly, it feels like he's taking cheap shots at his own self, you know? It really does. It feels like Vince is going out there and saying, yeah, I'm a dickhead. Yeah, I'm an asshole. Yeah, I did shitty stuff. And you know what? I'm going to let you guys make fun of me for it by trying to make myself sound like God. You know, that's on how he comes off. But yeah, Vince came off saying, I have a stroke of genius. Now, we've already had the Superstar shakeup and the drafts. So what if? And I love that he did what if. I'm pretty sure he sat down and talked to Bruce like, Bruce, what should I say out there that make people think that they know it's me? Well, boss, what if you just say, what if, and then angry growl you do? What angry growl? That one. What if we have a wild card where you can get 3 from Raw and 3 from SmackDown and they could go either way. Ha ha! I love it. I'm a genius. Which, honestly, all of this really feels like a fucking Vince Russo idea more than anything. I'm honestly, I'm kind of worried, and you can't see it on camera because, you know, thank God, I may have shitty producers, but those shitty producers can get some decent makeup artists, and I got some sweat-proof stuff right here. That way y'all can't see me perspiring. Whew, man. Sweating bullets thinking on, please don't tell me they brought Russo back. No, no, no. But, yeah. Ish really felt like Vince Russo all over it. Now, Seth eventually came out, got into AJ's shit, talking about last week with the contract signing on how he gave AJ a chance to talk to him, and instead AJ sucker punched him. And then they said, you know, we can go right now. And then Vince, while he's still in there, saying, you two want to go? All right. Whoa! You're not going against each other. No. You two are going to have a tag match. And that match is right now. So we get Seth versus AJ versus going against Lashley and Baron Corbin. Yeah. Now I know what some of y'all are thinking. Oh wait, Seth teaming with AJ, but they can't get along. Oh, this is really different, right, Vince? No, it's simple. Listen, there's only X amount of stories that you could tell in wrestling over and over and over, you know? And having two guys that don't like each other, having a tag team, it's been done before, and people didn't have any mind to it before. I mean, for crying out loud. Nobody minded when Austin and Taker were tag teaming and they were tag champs. And then as they were tag champs going into SummerSlam that year. You know, people didn't bat an eye over that. People didn't bat an eye over John Cena and Shawn Michaels not only being tag teamed, but again, tag champs going into a match at WrestleMania. It's all on the delivery. That's the thing. But so many of us, including yours truly, sometimes we wind up just getting, sometimes a lot of us wind up being so nearsighted we don't bother to take a minute and think, whoa, wait, how's this going to benefit it? Could this benefit the story 2, 3, or 4 weeks from now leading into the pay-per-view? You know, just sometimes we all need to stop and hit the brakes on that. But now Seth and AJ going against Lashley and Corbin, they led right into, Seth and AJ led right into the break, and then after that, heels, they were leading. Heels wound up leading. Seth was the punching bag, and then AJ started to be the punching bag. Seth wound up getting a hot tag, started cleaning up house, you know, and then Lashley wound up taking him down. Match wound up coming to an end, or not Lashley, I'm sorry. Not after Seth got taken down, Styles, he went to go up and try and hit Lashley. Missed him, caught Seth with a phenomenal form. After that, just walked off pissed. Corbin got in there, hit Seth with an end of days. 1, 2, 3. That is it. Yeah. Next up, we got a piss break match. Lucha House Party going against some local town jobbers. I got no idea why the fuck that happened. My guess is to try and build them back up after they got pretty much turned into roadkill after going against Eric and Ivar from last week. So, yeah. Next up, we got a next match. Ricochet going against the one and only Robert Roode. And Ricochet has his Money in the Bank qualifying, being in the Money in the Bank match on the line in this. And during this, what I fucking loved about this match was on how Roode had such that mean, nasty, vicious side, leading and just being a straight up fucking heel. You know, being aggressive, being nasty, being mean during the entire match. Match wound up coming to an end real quick though. Ricochet built this quick comeback and then wound up hitting a 630. So, now, before we get into the next match, it's a women's match. One thing I do want to note, and unfortunately, I can't even blame my producers, like Ed or Wade, like I normally do, because this time it was all me and they've been fucking screaming and fuming behind the camera. I forgot to mention in the beginning of the opening segment, during that, Kofi and Daniel Bryan came out, and Vince wound up giving everyone 2 WrestleMania rematches. One being Roman versus McIntyre, which, if you'd have saw on how Twitter took to that, whew, man, you'd have thought somebody getting a blowjob in the middle of church was presentable. And Kofi against Daniel Bryan for the title. So we'll get to those matches later in the show. Next up though, now the next match, women's action. Lacey Evans going against a local jobber. Now, the story behind this match. Now, yes, this was a shit match. This was a piss break match. But, well, actually, I can't even say it's a piss break match because, like I said before, if it's a squash match and it has a story, or not even a story, it builds to one, it makes sense, and I'm for it. This one did, because they showed in the segment beforehand, Lacey cordially invited all the women that are in the Money in the Bank match out ringside to see her in action. She took out the local hometown jobber real quick, wound up doing a Bronco Buster and then hit the right, 1, 2, 3. Cut a promo saying on how None of them girls better go and try and cash in on her after she beats Becky for the title. Out comes Becky Lynch, comes on down, wipes the floor with Lacey Evans, and again, this is just from first-hand experience. Thank God Lacey does not choose to go into shoot mode, because I have been around female Marines, and them women are mean creatures. Yeah, they will rip your head off, shit down your neck, and then use your skull as a cereal bowl. And that's just for fun. So yeah, I would not want to fuck with her just because of the fact she's a Marine. She legit has been taught on how to kill, and more than likely has on more than one occasion. Actually, now I think about it, she probably didn't, considering she was an MP, but either way, she was trained on how to, and yeah, wouldn't want to piss her off. So with that said, let's get into the next match. Tag action, Viking Raiders going against Zack, Ryder, and Curt Hawkins, and one of my favorite tag teams in WWE going against one of my least favorite tag teams in WWE. I'm pretty sure y'all know which one's which. And yeah, this went just like you thought it would. Ryder and Hawkins, they tried slugging it out. That lasted for about a good 30 seconds. After that, yeah, the Raiders wound up killing them. They wound up killing them after that. That was it. Quick 1, 2, 3. So, fingers crossed, excuse me, fingers crossed, some point down the line, they're going to wind up getting some action. They're going to get some title shots. Next up, we got Roman versus McIntyre again. Now, this I will say, 100 times better than the match they had at WrestleMania. And just, I absolutely dug it. You know, everyone leading into this was shitting on the idea, oh, it's horrible, why are they doing that? Oh, this match was shitty before, we don't want to see that again. Well, simple enough, and I had a very nice conversation with a good buddy, 3 Count Thursday, about this. Simple enough, if you really, really do not like the show or are not satisfied with the product that much, guess what? You really can pick up the remote, turn it off. It's really that simple. I'll give you a good example. You know, big fan, one of my favorite shows when I was a teenager, Stargate SG-1. I absolutely love that show. When they had shitty episodes on, turned it off, even though I loved it. It fucking happens. You're not going to be satisfied all the time, and if you're not going to be happy with the damn product, don't fucking watch it. Because you know what? If you're going to go out there and say, you don't like this show, you can't stand it, you hate it, but you keep it on all the time anyway, and then you tweet about on how you can't stand it, and then you talk about it all the time, you don't fucking hate it. You fucking love it. You're just showing it in a different way, dipshit. Just, sometimes people are idiots. Yeah. Back to Roman McIntyre. Really good match. 100 times better than what they had at Mania. I will give that. McIntyre leading power and leading throughout the entire match. Oh God, it was so good. Just, you know, now Roman, he started to build up a little bit of a comeback, but McIntyre stopped that pretty quick. Probably one of the sicker moves that I've seen McIntyre do in this match. Had Roman up, hit an Alabama slam, and had Roman's head hit the ring apron. Like, boom! Just like that. Just, God damn, that's fucking sick. Whew. Man, McIntyre, I fucking love this guy now. He was a hell of a performer before, but now he got fired. He got in killer shape. He got a freaking chip on his shoulder, and man, has he been rocking it since. Yeah. So, match winds up coming to an end on how on how the match comes to an end. Roman, he starts to build a small bit of a comeback, hits a spear just as he's going for a pin. Next thing you know, boom! Shane McMahon and Elias come down. They start beating the snot out of him. Miz comes down, chases Shane out. They wind up fighting backstage and all that. As they're running off, next thing you know, Drew and Elias, they beat the shit out of Roman. So yeah. Now, next matchup we get is Kofi versus Daniel Bryan. But before we get to that, one thing do want to also note real quick. They did wind up having a moment where No Way Adam Rose Jose came out and he did his little conga line, and next thing you know, Lars Sullivan came out, destroyed him in the conga line. Everyone was like, you could see it on frickin' Twitter and shit, everyone was freaking out like, oh, the WWE isn't at the wild card rule for even a whole day, and they already fucked it up. They brought 4 stars on instead of 3, this, that, and the other. God bless, because the second people started complaining about that, they showed a segment backstage with Vince like this on his phone. Uh-huh. Yeah? No, listen. I know I said 3. That was 3. No. Lies didn't count. No. And then big knock on the door. Come in. And you just see Lars Sullivan just looking over at Vince like, what? Just looking like he's ready to rip him in half. And he's like, yeah, it's going to be 4. Alright. We good? And then you just see Lars walk off. Yeah. Now we're on to Kofi versus Daniel Bryan. I really dug the hell out of this match. This was pretty much just as good as the match they had at Mania. Big thing that I dug, and I'm not sure if anyone else noticed this, but this was really Kofi's first solo match with the title. No Woods, no Big E behind him, no nothing. It's just him. And Kofi, he led. He had a nice good pace and flow with the match. I dug it. It was good. You know, it was decent. Bryan, he had his moments, but it wasn't like he was trying to lead. It was more so like, I don't know, Kofi was more in control than Bryan. That's the best way I can put it. Now, how the match came to an end, Kofi wound up hitting the Trouble in Paradise on Bryan after them two were trying to hit each other with their finishers for a good little bit, and just kept doing near miss, and then Kofi, boom, caught him with the Trouble in Paradise, 1, 2, 3. That was it. So, yeah. That was it, and that is it for this week's show, folks. So, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes. Make sure you look for me on my Twitter at Tim Vicious. You also got another account if I get ghosted or put in Twitter jail, Tim_Vicious. Also on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash, if you ever want to look for me on there. If you're going to look for me on my Facebook gimmick, make sure you look for me. Make sure you let me know you found me on there from here. Or on my Twitter at Tim Vicious. I don't think you got your creep John going. Also, folks, do not forget to follow all these cool-ass cats right here on the Twitter. Axel Mulligan, Kenny Killer, DSB_IV, Cranky Asshole, Dazzy MWP, and Sergeant Curry Pants. Big thanks to my executive producer, Ali Rewind Bender, for providing the music for this week's show. Make sure y'all check it out. It's out there on iTunes, Spotify, and such. Details are down below. Also, you want one of these sweet-ass Ali Rewind shirts, hit me up. I'll talk to the man for you. Show that man some love and support. And like I always say, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck yous.